Yeah, I had to come on here and make this video, man. I'm seeing the news and what's going on with the situation up in New York. Robert Brooks, inmate, he was incarcerated at Marcy Correctional Facility, man. I seen the video, I'm appalled. First and foremost, I want to, give my condolences to his family. I want to talk a little bit about that. I've been a correctional officer for 14 years. I've worked at one county jail in West Virginia. I worked at a federal prison in West Virginia, and I've been at the federal prison here in North Carolina since 2015. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, I want to say them officers in that video, man, shame on them. Shame on them. You know what I'm saying? How they beat that man while he was in handcuffs, And this is coming from a correctional officer. Like I said, I've been working as a correctional officer since 2011. You know what I'm saying? I've been to 2 different correctional academies, training academies. And nothing in the policy, it says to do what they did, And this is the thing, too. They're going to get prosecuted. They're going to do prison time. Trust and believe. They're going to get prison time behind this. You know what I'm saying? The state of New York or whatever correctional agency, they're under, they're going to have to pay. It's going to be a lawsuit coming. You know what I'm saying? And, like I said, nothing in the training policy says to do what they did. Like I've been to 2 different training academies, and we're taught, when the inmate's combative, resistant, hostile, you do what you got to do. It may not be the prettiest. Sometimes you may have to go out of policy a little bit, getting them under control. But this is the big but. This is why you have to stick to policy and procedure. That's why when I make these correctional officer videos, for people that's interested in corrections, that's coming into correction, always remember what the policy says you can and cannot do. Because if you don't and you go outside the boundaries, you will go down. Trust me. And this is the thing. It's all on camera. They can't go in the courtroom and deny that to the judge. What are they going to say? It's all right there, man. I used to play college football, right? And after the games, our coach, we be in film study watching the game. He will always say this: the eye in the sky never lies. What did he mean by that? The camera, if you miss a play, you mess up, man. It's all right there. You can't deny it. The body cam shows everything, man. Kicking that inmate. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even call him an inmate no more because he's no longer here with us. Unfortunately, that he had to lose his life like that. And as a correctional officer, you got to remember this. You have to remember that we are not the judge. We are just there to oversee the prison, make sure it's running smoothly, safely and in an orderly manner, making sure the inmates are not trying to escape, making sure they're not trying to fight each other, becoming combative, doing things they're not supposed to do. I don't know the whole situation, all the details of what led to that incident. All I know is what I seen from the camera. He was in handcuffs. He's restrained. You're trained in the academy. Yes, like I said, you may come across an inmate that's combative. He could be high off of intoxicants. He may be trying to attack you, trying to stab you. You can do what you got to do, man, to protect yourself and to get the inmate under control. But once he's in handcuffs, it's over. After that, you're supposed to be calling medical to medically assess the inmate and make sure that he didn't sustain any injuries. Then, you check on your coworkers and you make sure that everybody's safe. Nobody has any injuries, man. What they did is way, way to the left. And I see why people, the public, society, people that never worked in correction, I see why they try to paint a negative light on correctional staff, correctional officers, people that work inside the correctional system, because of stuff like this, man. And I want to say this, you know what I'm saying? I apologize, like I'm appalled. I'm appalled right there, man. It doesn't make any sense. You can't explain that. How do you explain that to that man's family? You don't. You can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me, man. You know what I'm saying? He in there doing time. The judge already sentenced him to his time. Like I said, I don't know what all happened. I don't know what led them, to have to restrain him. But all I know is what I seen and what I've been through in my training. I've been to 2 different academies, 2 different states. You know what I'm saying? County jail and the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and most correctional facilities, correctional agencies, they have similar policy and procedures, So I know I can go to any facility, I had to probably tweak it a little bit, according to what their policy and procedures is. But I could work any facility, man, and code my own. What they did, man, they gonna do time. Trust me. I've seen plenty officers go down for doing things that they're not supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I've seen officers bringing in contraband. I've seen officers, sleeping with inmates, assaulting inmates, denying inmates medical treatment. You have to always stick to the policy. You have a job to do. Once you have a job to do, man, you got to remember what you signed when you took that oath. They forgot. Everything went out the door for them, man. They kicking him. They put this is the craziest shit to me is when they put the sock in his mouth. What reason would you have to put a sock in anybody's mouth? You have an inmate that's spitting, spitting on staff. You put there's like a mask. I don't know the name of it, but you put it over their face, over their head. It's like a mesh net so they can't spit on people. That's it. If he's becoming resistant, even when in handcuffs, the policy usually we put him like in a restraint basket or a restraint chair where his arms are restrained and his legs are restrained. I've been on many cell extraction teams where we have to go in and on a lockdown inmate, that's combative, won't take their meds, they barricade themselves in their cells. We go in there, boom, get them, grab them, put them in handcuffs, take them to the nurse's station so the nurse can evaluate them. Then we probably put them in a restraint chair, and then you got to check on them every so often. The lieutenant, sergeant, somebody has to check on them periodically, make sure that the restraints aren't too tight. They're going down. They're fried. They're done. It's over with, And like I said, to the people that's watching this video, you coming into corrections, man, always remember your policy. That's not a reflection of what corrections is. It's not. If I would have been there, I would have told them, like, y'all need to knock this shit off. I'm not partaking in this, man. You have to think. I got a family to feed. I like my freedom. I like to go home. When you go outside the policy, you start to put everybody else's jobs and livelihoods in jeopardy. If they didn't want to listen to me, man, they tried to brush me off when I tried to break that shit up. I'm making sure I got everybody's name. And I'm going to write in my statement, yeah, such and such, he was kicking them. He punched them in the head. He put a sock, cuz, like I said, I'm trying to go home. I have a job to do. I'm sticking within the policy. You can call it snitching. You can call it whatever you want, man. It's not even snitching for real because the camera's right there. It shows everything. They're dead wrong. You can't explain it, man. Everybody in that room is going down, man. That stood by, whether you stood by and watched it happen, you should have said something. You should have said something, man. It just is what it is at the end of the day, man. Like I said, man, I apologize. And I want to send my condolences to his family, the people, the public. Like I said, I see why they say that all correctional staff are dirty. We treat the inmates bad. And I want to say this, to end this video. It's not everybody, man. Majority of correctional officers, man, they go to work, do their job to the best of their ability, and they go home, man. You're going to always have a few bad apples. That's just the nature of the beast, man. They always get exposed at the end. They always get outed. Stuff like this comes about, and they go down. They get prison time. They lose their job, as they should. Because you went outside the policy, man. What in the policy? Where at? I need to read it. I need to see their policy with my own eyes. It may be a little bit different from the Bureau of Prison, but it can't be that much different, man. Nothing in there says that you could punch, kick the inmate when they're in handcuffs, So shame on them. Shame on them. They're all going to go down, man. Trust me. It's going to come out in the coming months, man. And I hope that justice is served. I hope they get everything they deserve. I hope they get the maximum sentence, man. That's all I got to say about it, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Body. But I got merchandise for sale. I'm going to keep making these correctional officer videos. I just had to speak on that, man, because it's been popping up. I had a few people ask me to make a video or ask me what's my thoughts were on the situation. I didn't really know about it till I think yesterday. So people tagged me on it, and I watched the video and I was just sitting there I was just in amazement. You know what I'm saying? I'm still out of work. I probably won't be back to work maybe a couple more months, but I'm going to just take this time, just to reflect, be thankful, always, like I said, remember the policy. If you stick to the policy, document everything. If you were in correction, you come across something like that, man, you better say something. You better make sure you report. You better say, it better show you on camera trying to break it up, trying to diffuse the situation. Like, hey, y'all need to stop that. That's not in policy. I'm not losing my job over y'all, man. He's already in handcuffs. He's restrained. If he's still fighting in resistance, you hold him. He's already in restraints. You can hold him down. You can put him in the Stokes basket. It's like a basket, like when you carry somebody that's had a medical injury. That's one of the restraint tools we use. You lay them down in the basket and restrain them to that. If they're still being hostile, fighting, even in handcuffs and leg restraints. But way out of policy, man. Always remember that policy. Y'all got any comments, thoughts, how y'all feel about this video, man? What's your thoughts? I want to hear everybody's opinion on this video, whether you work in corrections, people that's on the outside looking in that have never worked in corrections. I see why some of y'all, I've read some of my comments before, they say that all correctional officers are bad, dirty, we abuse the inmates. I see why, because of stuff like this. When stuff like this pops up in the news, man, it paints a bad light on corrections overall, and I just want to come on here, like I said, and say, man, that's not the case. Most people are just trying to do their job, go home. If you're still interested in corrections, you're going through the hiring process, just keep your head up, stay true to the process, be patient. They're going to come calling you any day. They're going to call you when you least expect it. Some people be asking me, how long is it before I hear something back from human resources? It just takes time. It's a process. Both times when I got hired on at my different facilities I worked at for the county jail, it probably took me like maybe 4 or 5 months. When I got hired on with the federal prison system, it probably took me like 6 months from the time I put my application in to the time I got my start date. So it's a process, you know what I'm saying? But just keep your head up, stay positive. Like I said, man, condolences to Robert Brooks, the former inmate that lost his life at the hands of dirty correctional officer staff, man. That's not what corrections is. Me coming on here, I may not have the most time in or be the authoritative expert on corrections, but I'm just giving my opinion on the whole situation. And I had to come on here and speak that. I had to speak from the heart. This is all coming from the heart, man. You know what I'm saying? You will go down. You will do prison time. You will get caught if you go outside the boundaries of the policy and procedure, baby.